Hey everybody, it's Van Time with Chuck and Deb, and today we're going to talk about a little tweak in your friendship evangelism that will make a world of difference. Alright, so Deb and I kind of grew up being taught that we needed to earn the right to share the gospel. And although that sounds really good, it's really not very accurate, is it, hon?
Well, I think, I mean, it's good to have relationships with people, and it's good to be thinking about being intentional about sharing your faith with them. So there's nothing wrong with that. I think we just figured out recently that there's an issue of timing involved that's really critical.
Yeah, so what we've been doing is we've just started sharing the gospel up front, making sure that, you know, this is not a bait and switch relationship. Sometimes when you wait a long time to share the gospel with people, they feel like, you know, what is our relationship based on? And it feels like a bait and switch if you wait too long to share the gospel. Now there's this great fear that if I share the gospel up front, I'll sacrifice the relationship. So, hon, what have we learned about that?
Yeah, it's interesting because really it's almost the opposite. Maybe not in every case, but our experience has been when we share the gospel quickly or pretty much up front, it doesn't sacrifice the relationship at all, and sometimes it even enhances it. And so a lot of times the things that we fear are not the things that happen at all.
Yeah, Romans 1:16, Paul makes this statement, "For I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek." And so one of the things that we notice is that we are subtly depending on relationship to be the power rather than the gospel itself. I remember Steve Smith talking about a training that he was doing in Europe, and basically the folks did not believe that the gospel alone was powerful enough to radically transform people in Europe. And so what they did is they just went out on the street and started sharing the gospel, and sure enough, somebody came to Christ, somebody embraced Jesus for who he is and what he did, and you know, there it is. The gospel is powerful enough in itself.
Yeah, I think another thing that I've experienced is even in a conversation with somebody, if I don't share the gospel quickly in the conversation, I'm less likely to get around to sharing it at all. One of the stories I was thinking about is that one of the guys in the military, when he went to his new unit, he shared the gospel immediately with everybody, and he said it was interesting because, okay, he had accountability now because people were watching his life to see if what he said matched, or what he did matched up with what he said. And then the same thing had happened with another guy who went to his unit, but he did not share the gospel up front. And it turned out this guy had never gotten around to sharing the gospel because he said it got kind of awkward after a while. He didn't know how to broach the subject. And so, you know, maybe the problem is we just don't know how to share the gospel, and we just are embarrassed about sharing it, or we're afraid to share it. You know, it's we were just talking about it the other day about how if all you do is that one little change, just share the gospel up front clearly, not just have a spiritual conversation, but share the gospel of Jesus, how he came to earth, died on a cross to forgive us from what we've done wrong, and we need to we can accept that and make him our king, then it makes it so much easier to continue to relate to the person, knowing that they know where we're coming from. And most of the time they feel loved by that message, even if they don't accept it.
Yeah. And so, one of the things that we don't want to communicate is that we're pitting friendship evangelism against cold turkey right up front evangelism. No, it's both and more. So what that one little tweak for friendship evangelism is just share the gospel up front and then just love the fire out of people. And then the gospel makes a lot of sense to people. They know why you're so loving, why you're so friendly, if you will. And here's the kicker. Never let anybody tell you you need to earn the right to share the gospel. Jesus did that on the cross. Share the gospel, love people. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, hit the subscribe button over there. And if you have questions, put them in the comments below. Deb and I really enjoy being with you. We were gone in England and Ireland and fixing to go to Japan next, but we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
When he went to his new unit, when
Start that over
yeah.
again.